Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with Niv Racer on GTA 5 having, well, their race a little bit interrupted by a train. Pretty much the one point where a train can completely block a race off, and when they do get going, they try and fit two Porsches through a small gap, and that also doesn't work, with one going the wrong side of the barrier and the other one rolling over. I mean, that's just sort of 20 seconds of errors pretty much going on there. Ah, the FailRace Police Department. We can't have one of these episodes without them turning up one way or another. This time, there is a policeman who's got out of the car and is trying to get back in, and I guess the AI driving the car is not quite sure what to do, and they're just doing a round and round in circles game in the car park. 10 out of 10 stuff. It's just the typical incompetence right there. Now, we move on to Red Dead Redemption 2, and before there were cars, well, there were horses to get you around, of course. And, well, sometimes the horses can have problems. You might get a puncture with the car or a breakdown. Sometimes a horse has to stop. Your car, though, doesn't kick you in the back of the head. That is something. Your car doesn't get spooked, I think kick you in the back of the head and kill you. Yeah, ouch. Ouch indeed. Down Under Thunder up next on Forza Horizon 5 with some weirdness from a parked car. Now, I've seen all sorts of bugs and glitches, and I'm sure we'll see plenty in this series as time goes on. However, this is one I've not come across personally. The player did actually really well to spot this. That is a car finding a new place to park. Yes, there is some genius solutions to parking issues apparently here in Mexico. You just park your car on the roof. Why not? How it got there, I am not 100% sure. But, yeah. Why not? Why not indeed? Coffee Addict up next on Horizon 5 has got the Jeep Trailcat. This is jumping around doing one of the missions now. I love the Trailcat. It's a fantastically wacky, crazy off-road vehicle that can be defeated by some pallets. Yes, not even by a full stack of pallets, by some broken pallets. It jumped off the container, has got the pallets wedged underneath it, and effectively beached this hugely powerful, impressive Jeep. It's just stuck and can't go anywhere. Well done. Sticking with Horizon, we have got the GMC Jimmy. Now, I've seen this bug in previous Forza. I personally haven't come across it in Horizon 5, but sometimes vehicles can get stuck a little bit in the floor. This time, it's not the car doing it itself, though. Oh, no. The vehicle landed fine. Ford decided it wanted to overtake. It pushed the GMC into the ground, and it got stuck. So, yeah, you can still sink your vehicle into the ground. Well, like I said, this time had a fair bit of help. Tactical Tug up next on Dirt 5, in the middle of a Rallycross race on here, when some very, very peculiar graphics problems strike. Or there's some sort of weird, crazy, super powerful smoke bomb has gone off. I don't know what one, but that's definitely not what it's very difficult to race. They make a corner, trying to use the sort of track map to guide them around. It's not gone well, though, there. It's really not gone well at all. Dragon Hunter up next on Need for Speed Most Wanted is trying to get away from the police. Goes for a sort of little bit of a shortcut through this area. He's going to get some airtime. You'd think no problem whatsoever. Misjudges the jump ever so slightly, and while one police car overshoots and goes for a big roll, problem for the Audi is it's stuck on the wall and it can't move from there, it can't wiggle free. It is perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Unfortunately for them, though, the police can go and catch them. More efficiency from the FailRace Police Department in that one, and one did fall over as well. A Primordial War up next on Wreckfest is rejoining the circuit, a little bit dodgy, gets a boop and a mega spin. Surprisingly calm rejoin, actually. All things considered, that could have gone a million times worse, as it does for Spadetails here, who, not really thinking about it, takes some cones. It actually ends up carrying a cone with them along the way on this time trial. The cone vacates the car at the worst possible second. Initially, I thought the player had clipped the barrel. They hadn't. No, the cone being carried by them, that was carried for a little while down the road here, just slides off the bonnet as they get to the barrels. The cone hits the barrel, explodes, and the explosion takes out the car. You couldn't get more unlucky if you tried in that one. We move next to Armoured Warfare here, with some tanks misbehaving. Yes, I was about to say kind of I say semi-futuristic tanks. I don't know much about tanks, but they're certainly not classic tanks, these ones. They have new skills, though. I guess 2 people wanted to respawn at the same time, and the game didn't know what to do, so we created the Giga Tank. Sadly, it's not as useful as that name might imply. It more just sort of sticks and bounces and glitches its way about. Over here, it does sort of move along a little bit. It can kind of fire. It's not really ideal, though. I'm going to say I've kind of got some driving going on. Oh, it's very, very janky. I was half expecting it to do the big old snow runner sort of physics ball. Now we're going to go round in circles. That's also not helpful. I mean, it is movement. It's not helpful movement. It is movement until there is helpful movement as the tanks eventually get separated and go. Amazingly, nobody shot them while we had the Giga Tank going on. But there we go. Then you can go back off into the battle. Pretend nothing happened. I don't know if they managed to damage themselves in that. Who knows, but there we go. And finally, we have Mike on Ultima Blister 2 with some AI cars not knowing how to do pit stops at all. So there's a mandatory pit stop during this race, and the AI cars just cannot get themselves into the pit lane. They either have massive wobbles, or they end up in this sort of tyre bundle, or they have a spin. Yeah, there's some corner cutting going on at the final turn as well as people are frantic. I mean, the spin and then get into the pit is sort of the way to go here, because no one else is really able to make it in. I mean, one vehicle sits bumping into the tyre bundles for quite a while. These more cars are trying to get into it, but nope, that's not really worked. We're going to do last minute dive across, and some have changed their mind, and then there's a small bump, and now we've got 2 cars likely bumping in to the tyre bundle in all of this one. And we've got more cars. You can see them like trying to pull themselves back into, like, across to get into the pit lane. They just can't do it. One of the vehicles has got 3 in all of that. Yeah, you can see that they're trying to get across. They can't quite make it. The Ferrari goes for a bit more of a keen dive into the pits, and that definitely didn't work for the Ferrari. That's got itself spun. Although it might actually make it into the pit lane proper. Now, if it turns, no, it's turned the wrong way. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, indeed. There we go. It is a mess. It is a mess there. Got a lot of AIs and pit lanes. Something always goes wrong. Something always goes wrong. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via a Google form. There'll be a link to it in the description. All the rules and how it works can be found on there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.